Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. And today we will explain about our paper or our presentation today entitled "The Active Role of College Student in the 1998 Incident: The New Order's Transition Towards Reform." So before we explain more, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Kevin Arya Pranaja, and
My name is Muhammad Arik Rafi.
we are from International Program of Government Affairs and Administration, batch 2021. So there are 3 points in our paper or our presentation. The first is we're gonna explain about the introduction and then discussion, and at the last we have a conclusion. So let me start from the introduction first. In the introduction, we can explain about what is reform and what is the situation happening in Indonesia in 1998. So let's start from the what is reform. Reform is a significant adjustment for the better in a society or a country. Reform can be applied to the social, political, or religious spheres. If there are problems with the state's or society's administration, reform can be carried out. So Indonesia reforms were a step toward new Indonesia with a new better order in 1998. The new order regime was deposed by reform movement from all walks of life, and Indonesia underwent reform. The major goal of the reform movement is to remake the order of life in society, nation, and state in order to align with Pancasila principles and the 1945 Constitution in economic, political, legal, and other areas. The purpose of reform is to rebuild the order of existence in the society, nation, and the state in order to align it with Pancasila and the 1945 Constitution. And then what the situation happened in Indonesia in 1998? So in 1998, students in Indonesia used the student movement to express their dissatisfaction with the country's growing out of control condition. This movement is known as the Reform Movement, and it aims to return Indonesia to a democratic governance led by the president. So Suharto's resignation as an authoritarian leader was one of the demands made by the 1998 student movement, which sought Suharto's resignation on May 21st May in 1998. And the second point is discussion. There are 3 points in the discussion. First is 1998 student movement, and then the Trisakti incident on May 1998, and then the last is reform in Solo, Central Java. So I will explain the 1998 student movement, and my friend will explain the Trisakti incident and also reform in Solo. So the Indonesia economy disarray, soaring high cost of commodities, rising labor force or PHK in Indonesia, and shrinking job possibilities promote students to take action. At first, the student concerned action was limited to on-campus events, with only a few students participating. President Suharto's economic prosperity, which has served as a kind of what is the justification for this reign for the past 30 years, has devolved into a proclaimed economic disaster, because the promise that election take place so slowly through the MPR decree can lead to authoritarian authorities. The role of student exchange against in the community in 1998 must continue to struggle of struggle, for values, particularly democracy. As a result, the 1998 student uprising to overthrow the Indonesian government's authoritarianism and allow democracy to flow freely must be recalled and remembered as a point of awakening democracy in the country. And next is Trisakti incident that can be explained by my friend Arik. So please, time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. There are two big incidents during the 1998 reform. Maybe the first one is one of the famous incident, which was the Trisakti incident. So there are about 600 academic community consists of student college, lecturer, faculty officers, conducted peace action inside the campus of Trisakti University. So at the beginning, this action just a protest, but at the end turned into a huge riots with fire, looting, overtaking, and tear gas by the security forces, and as the result, as much 6 Trisakti University students was died due to shot by security forces. Most of them were injured due to violence, such as hit an object, blow gun, and tear gas, as I mentioned before. And then the second one is from in Solo, Central Java. In 14 until 15 May 1998, there was an unforgettable moment for Solo and surrounding area. A number of largest and most important buildings were destroyed by the fire due to being burned by masses or by irresponsible people. There are not a few buildings that became victims, such as banking buildings, car dealers, factories, shops, offices, houses, malls, and many other buildings which were also being burned due to the fire. So this incident in Solo made many people call it as a Solo destroyed or Solo devastated. So the riots were happening in Solo almost the same as the riot happened in Jakarta. The beginning of the incident and the issue that spread are also the same. In the act of vandalism, there are 3 until 5 people lead the masses. They are generally body stocky, short hair, but there are also those who are long hair. Generally, they were wearing a black shirt, jeans, and shout, "Burn China and loot China." Okay, that's it for my. I will give it back to Kevin.
Okay, we are now in the conclusion in our paper or our presentation today. So the conclusion is the reform movement is a movement that demands changes for the better constitutionally. The reform movement that took place in Indonesia was presented as an answer to crises that hit various aspects of life. The economic and political crisis were the two reasons behind the 1998 reform event, so that these two fields affected other fields. So that's all for us today. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Stop.